Blatant disregard for the rules going on here.
My candle just detonated out of nowhere. How the f does that happen?
I'll drop trowel again.
Carter goes naked on stream.
Forward or backwards for Adidas? I mean, dropping Kanye and then gaining D3 Young.
I mean, if they were out of line.
Boys are back. We have not filmed an episode in a while, but we got some exciting news. We're in talks with Tennis One, potentially going to hook up with a deal with them. So trying to get back on the bandwagon of doing a little bit more content. So we got Sivo, we got David Big D3 Youngs, Big Bet Barter, and then I'm your host, Ike. So we're going to be talking 2023 year in review, just what we thought about kind of overall year. What do you how you guys doing? Sibo?
I'm phenomenal. Doing phenomenal. So happy to be back on the show. Hopefully a little bit more regularly now. It's great to be here again. Loving it.
Well, biggest disaster of the year was tough news for me to hear, but without a doubt, Stefanos and Paula Badosa deciding to get together and
100% could not agree more.
Totally heartbroken. Stefanos is just, man, what a fuck, honestly.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when I had a crush on, I'm not going to say her name, but she had the same initials as an appliance company. And I thought there was love that would be found in a hopeless place, and there was no love, and I was hopeless. But I've got to be honest, boys. My mind's been on tennis, but it's been on other things. Frankly, the Wisconsin Badgers. And I'm not saying that because we've got a badge on our hands today. I was at Huntington Bank Stadium in the subpar weather on Saturday, and our Badgers, as you can see, I've got a helmet. Sometimes I wear that around. Our boys took down the Gophers. Great to see. I went to 3 Big Ten West football games this year. Now, you may ask, how many brain cells did I lose from going to those 3 Big Ten West football games?
How many punts did you see?
I saw a lot. I would love to see, we have the big 3 on the men's tour, obviously, in recent history, and Roger and Rafa and Novak. There's like a big 8 in the Big Ten West of punters, and these young men deserve some credit. So I'm for the brand, as Pat McAfee would say, but I'm excited to talk tennis tonight.
There we go. And I think it is important to highlight, we made some bold predictions at the beginning of the year of who's going to do well, kind of highlighted that in our Petro video. But yeah, he was right on with Petro was right on with his Grand Slams. He thought Novak was going to win 3 of them, won 3 of them. Novak had a really good year. Do we think he's going to be repeating in 2024? Do we think he's getting 3?
I think he's getting 4 in the Olympics. Dude's got a fire underneath his ass. In 2021, when he had the chance to do, the Golden Grand Slam, then he, lost to Zverev, which is tough. I mean, he's probably the only one that's not worse than Stefanos in my book.
Wait, how many? Does he have 24 now?
Yeah.
Yep, 24. Mm-hmm. He made a comment the other day about, trying to get all 4, didn't he?
He said the goal is he was asked at the ATP finals. He's like, how can you be any better than what you were this season? And had an unbelievable year, has arguably the greatest player to ever play the game. And he's got a family now. You think guys like this was the best, and he goes, you could win all 4. It's like,
yeah, I mean, that's as a player, that's, as a journalist, that's a journalist asking, does a bear shit in the woods?
Yeah.
Of course he's going to say that, and yes, it will happen.
You think so? It's so hard to do. It's so hard to do. Like,
it is, but I will say this, and I'd say in my gut there's a 45% chance, which I would say is higher than anybody in the last however long. But
okay, what's the one that he could lose at? Like, what's the one that you think, like, if he was not going to win it, which one do you think it is?
I would say the French.
Does your answer change if Nadal doesn't play the French?
Yes. Then I think it's not a shoo-in, but I'll just say this. I think that Djokovic, like you look at the top 100 players in the world on the tour. Strokes wise, for the most part, like, number 1 and number 99, very similar. The mental game separates it, and Novak has ironclad testicles and an ironclad brain. I also think, though, that when you look at, like, not to play all history teacher on y'all, but when you look at Novak, like, people knew Agassi's backhand. People knew Rafa's ability to grind, Sampras's serve and volley. I feel like Djokovic doesn't have a style identity. And yes, I guess if you're a savant, you could pick out things that he does much better than others. But I think it's because he is the true all-court player, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, I totally buy that.
It's just hard. It's hard to bet against him in a slam, but then you think like, surely one man can just like get hot.
Right.
It's tough to do, but like it's clearly been done because he's yet to do it. Like Medvedev beats him in the U.S. Open final, and like he just Medvedev'd him, like caught fire, like wasn't missing, was just like wearing guys down. And like if you had to have one and a half criticisms of Novak, is that he tends to struggle more against the guys who are just like really, really solid, like because he doesn't have like that. It sounds so silly for me to say out loud, but he doesn't have like the Alcaraz like blast forehand that can just end the point, with one swing of the racket, or like people. His serve, I think, is criminally underrated, but it's not like he's going to be hitting like 25 aces a match,
Right. He's a walking plateau. Now it's a very fucking high plateau, like the Mount Everest of plateaus, but there's not flashes.
Yeah, and like the days when he dips are the days when he plays, the Medvedevs, the Zverevs. Like Zverev is like an anomaly because he's so tall and he's so long that like he should have a bigger game, but the dude doesn't miss. Like, he's trying to play more aggressive and like he just doesn't miss. And like he always has battles with Novak, same with Medvedev. Like those are the two guys that I feel like they just give him fits because they don't give him anything, and he can't really like hit through them. So he just has to kind of like wear him down. And like, but it's honestly even more crazy because when you think that he looks exhausted and like ready to tap out, like it seems like he just plays even better as a result and somehow just pulls it out every time. So like
Zverev's second serve is just dog shit. Like every time he steps up to the line for serve 2, he just all of a sudden contracts ALS and just like,
his knees get real heavy.
He was better. He was better with that this season, though. I think some time off, he comes back and he's not double faulting or he's not having the yips as much. It's a little more solid, and I actually think Zverev might be a shoo-in for comeback player of the year. Like I saw the nominees today, and like I saw his name. I was like, oh yeah, like came back after that horrible injury at the French a year and a half ago, and now he's back in the ATP finals among the best players in the world. And like if he has a good off season, like he could be a name to watch even at the French.
Nah, Zverev's a pretender. Zverev's a huge pretender.
You don't buy it? I mean,
so I was at the Western and Southern this year in Cincinnati, or just outside Cincinnati, and we were watching Zverev versus Nishioka on court 4, I think it was. Okay. So the music was playing on court 3 because it's like a bigger court, and Zverev was getting so mad when the music was playing. It was hilarious.
I mean, that is annoying. Yeah,
he was freaking out. Like he it seemed like he had never played on an outer court in his life, and he was just complaining to the umpire the entire time. Like I've seen many people play on that court because we sat there all day. No one else complained, just him. Just,
I mean, screw that. I mean, not to be the pop culture guy here, but I was at a Wolves game last night. They're playing music, offense, defense, all fucking game. And
different sport. It's.
I know, but there was nothing better than at Fargo South High School. We're warming up to play the Wahpeton Huskies, and I hear Levels by Avicii.
Yeah, but you're also warming up. Like you're not. What was it close? Like what was the point of the match?
I was not close. It was not. The Bruins took care of them. But I'm just saying that as we look at tennis in the future, and obviously this is a recap, but the past leads to the future. And we've talked about it before. I'd love a 3M Open of tennis, not to change the conversation, but that'd be stellar.
Even if it's just like dumb shit in between points, be kind of funny. But before I forget, I don't know, who do you think is going to win Ladies Man of the Year in the ATP? Is it Stefanos or is it Zverev and his right hook?
Or it could be Kyrgios sucking on his girlfriend's neck. Do you see that picture? It's gross.
No, but I'd like to
licking her
Yeah.
like a lollipop.
I mean,
That-
if it works for them, like
There's
everyone's kinda
no
got their
way
thing.
that relationship doesn't end in fireworks. There's no relationship that works like that.
I was gonna say two biggest things that didn't happen and I wish they would have this year. Kyrgios didn't play at all. Like he played one tournament and then he got hurt again. So that was disappointing, like not having that flair out there this year.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he's back next year. And then Jeannie Bouchard came back and just like didn't have it. So she hasn't really played much either. Those are like two main things I just like, I don't know. I was disappointed in. Big disappointments. And
Those were your biggest disappointments?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did Chapo come out with any new music this year?
I hope not.
Chapo played so bad this year.
Yeah, he didn't have a good year either.
Yeah.
He got hurt towards the end as well. There were a
Did
lot
he?
of, I don't know. I
What
think,
happened with the Canadians this year? OJ Aliassime played pretty
Oh,
bad.
Felix had a terrible year. He just
Mhm.
couldn't seem to string 2 wins together. Like I don't know. And that's what's crazy is that like last year when it got to indoor tennis, he just ran the table for like 4 or 5 events, just won them all and like looked unbeatable. And you're thinking, wow, like maybe he's ready to take that jump, and then just nope.
Someone we didn't talk about that could threaten Novak, one big headwind for Novak is Sinner. Like, look at how Sinner played at the end of the year.
True. Yeah, got to the ATP finals too.
He's like 22, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't even said the future GOAT of the sport in Carlitos. We haven't even mentioned his name yet.
But yeah.
He
Came away.
He beat Djokovic in literally his backyard, the court he hadn't lost on in X amount of years, and did it in 5 sets, where he doesn't lose in 5 sets ever. And like
He's gotta stay healthy too. I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
also like Nadal early in his career too, though. Nadal, like I remember early on, like when we were really young, like just bullshitting with people at tennis tournaments on the weekend, saying like, oh, like making predictions about the future and like, oh, is Nadal gonna like have a long career because he's injury prone? And turns out he did, but still has injuries.
well, it's a little misleading because if you think about it, like Nadal has never won the year-end event. Now you can make the argument it's an indoor faster court, it's not his surface, yada yada yada. I mean, the dude is still one of the best players of all time. Like I get it's not his surface, but like, you'd think that a guy of his talent and his pedigree, he'd be able to figure it out. He's never won the event, and I don't know the exact number, but he's straight up missed the event through injury many times as well. So like, yes, he's had a long career, but he doesn't finish seasons that often. So it's like that's a stain on his career, in my opinion. Is like, yes, he's the greatest clay courter that will ever live. Like no one's ever going to come close to that. But like, it sounds silly, but if you took away clay and all that, like I'm gonna get crucified for saying this, but like he's really not that much different than anybody else who only has a handful of slams.
I mean, he would then have 9 slams, right? He has
how many? He's won 14 Frenches.
8 slams then.
He's won 22 slams total.
So yeah,
Yes.
he'd have 8, which is still like absurd. Like don't get me wrong,
That's
but like
4 more than Andy Murray, and Andy Murray's considered a big 4. Like he would still be in that like he'd still be in there.
It's the same as Agassi. Agassi won 8.
mhm.
Yeah, Agassi was sick.
I think
Yeah, like-
Carlitos is storing all of his pain in his jawline. That's my take. Gotta massage that sucker out.
Yeah, I don't know. Carlito, yeah, he just seemed like he always was kind of getting nagging injuries. I just don't know how long he can sustain what he's doing. I do think he's gonna keep on putting up majors and always be in contention, but like I can definitely see him being hurt for 2-3 weeks every couple months.
It's something to keep an eye on for sure. I mean, it is worrying. That's like back-to-back seasons where he's been great, but also he's been hampered by injury problems. Like that is not one year where that happens. You're like, okay, unlucky, but back-to-back, it's definitely something to definitely watch.
Mm.
I see this as being the year of Accutane for Carlito.
What's
Accutane?
Oh fuck! Come on, Accutane's like the leading drug for acne.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like
what was the one that I took that Katy Perry sponsored? Fucking
Proactive.
Proactive, yeah.
Tough
I remember those ads.
Yeah, I was fat and had acne, and Katie saved me.
No,
but I do think as we look, or you go first, Cart.
Quitting gluten saved you, brother.
Yeah. SIBO and Ike, you wouldn't want to be in an elevator with me. I'll just put it that way. But I will say with Carlitos, it does get like, just for the betterment of the game, that there's a good crop around him. I think that in the next, let's just say 5 years, on average, let's say I think he wins 1 to 2 majors, maybe 3. It'd be great to see him get the full slam. But there's other guys too, which I think is exciting, which I don't know if, 2-3 years ago, there was speculation, but I don't know, confirmation that would be the case.
Yeah. I know for a fact it's not going to be one player. It's never going to be Holger Rune. He will never win a major. I know that for a fact.
That's a hot take right there.
I bet he gets 1 or 2.
No, he does not have the head to win a major. 0 shot.
Ooh, zero.
No.
That is a hot take.
0
shot. Same with Zverev. Zverev can get lucky hitting into it.
Been to a final.
Did he win it though?
No, but he's been there. He can say something that those other guys can't yet.
Yeah, I mean, freaking.
Granted, it was COVID, but like, they were all dealing with it.
He beat a stacked lineup in Paris a year ago, like back to back to back. Didn't he get like 4 top 10 victories in one tournament?
Yeah, and like he was in a dogfight with Nadal when he got hurt. Like that match could go either way. I don't think he wins it, but like he was in it. You can't say he wasn't.
Yeah.
He beats Stefanos every time because Stefanos is a fucking pretender too. What an idiot!
I don't like how he's so angry. Like I know Tsitsipas. Like I like Tsitsipas.
No, you don't. He's a bitch.
But he's always so fucking angry. I want people to be happy.
No, you know who's negative all the time is Rublev. Like I love this guy off the court. Like off the court, he's an angel. Like super nice, super funny. But like on the court, he's so negative. Like so negative. Like you guys saw it during the finals. He like literally like cut his knee because he was banging his racket against it. Like he's so
like
negative.
Lower body Mikhail Yuzny.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Kokkinakis kind of he's mentally a mental midget out there as well. Like he can't finish. He's always what?
Remember that point? Well, I mean, he can finish as long as it's in Stan's girl. But
laid that one up nice, Isaac.
You remember that one point he had against Murray in the Aussie Open where he had like 12 chances to put it away and he just like kept taking it back, and then at the end of the point, so epic, he just like unloads on his racket.
Boom, boom.
But see, like this is my point, right? We just went through like all the guys who are in the top 10 that aren't named Alcaraz, and I would argue Sinner has made that jump to like where he can win a major now. I think. Like, who do you trust outside of those two to get over the
Casper Ruud,
line?
baby.
Yeah, Casper
Casper
Ruud.
Ruud.
Yeah, Casper Ruud. He's been. You're talking about Zverev's one final. How many has Casper Ruud been in? He's been in like 4.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I wonder like if those losses are gonna like be the one thing that he can't overcome. You know, like
It's the guy you want to see in the final.
I must
many
admit,
did Agassi
Casper Ruud
lose?
is not a player that like I see in the draw and I go like, ooh, tough draw. Like I think he's like he's one of the more vulnerable guys. I think.
Medvedev.
Like you especially want to see him at Wimbledon. Like you want to see Casper Ruud in your section at Wimbledon. It's
Yeah.
true. Like
Agassi
the guy
loses
doesn't
first
win
Slam
matches
finals.
on grass.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, his game is very oriented towards his topspin. So
yeah. I guess I did forget about Medvedev. Like you have those 3. Do we have a new dawn of a homeless man's poor version of the big 3 that we just had? Like,
Arthur Fils.
okay. Okay.
Tommy Paul.
Ooh, yeah. I. It's not out of the question for like. I don't think it's out of the question for an American to steal a major. Fritz, I think, is capable if he puts on a run. I think he can overpower some guys if he has the right draw. Tiafoe, I think he could put up a run.
Tiafoe can only do it in New York, though. I think he needs the U.S. crowd to like get him through it.
And then
I would
TP too. I think those 3 guys all have a shot.
You don't think Shelton?
Not yet.
Not
I don't
yet.
think- not his backhand's just awful.
I mean, who was it? Like Casper Ruud doesn't have a great backhand. He's been in 3 major finals. Like
Yeah, but
3 out of 5. Like
nah.
you can get away with it, right? Like you can hide things like that, especially when you have the weapons that he does.
Not 3 out of 5. Your arm gets too tired after a while. It comes down to like overall just grinding when you're playing 3 out of 5.
I
You
suppose.
can't-
I mean, it's
That's why Isner has never. I mean, how many titles does he have? 25. Like
yeah, but Isner was also a guy who, if you could somehow get his serve back and get into a point, like you make the rally longer than 5 shots, and your chances of winning the point shoot up.
yeah, but I don't think Shelton has a better serve than Isner, in my opinion. Like I don't think he.
I
It's
would
a pretty high bar to compare it to. It's like
I would
Whoa.
agree, but
one of the
Shelton
best
can move.
servers of all time. It's like
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, he is the best server of all time. But what I'm saying is like, okay, so now you're gonna have to win more points on the ground, and I don't think he's like that much. Like, is he that much sicker than Isner off the ground with that awful backhand?
He can
I
move.
think so. I think so.
Isner just had awful ground strokes altogether, though.
And Isner can't move. Like Ben Shelton's a great athlete. Like, he can
Sure.
move. Like
He can jump,
he
run.
he's more dynamic than Isner was, right? And like, you know, I don't think it's out of the question that Shelton can make another run like he did at the Open. And if he doesn't have to play Novak, which sooner or later the guy's gonna have to call it quits, right? Like,
Novak.
yeah, sooner or later. Like, unless he's 45, then that's just outrageous. But like,
I feel like Novak has kind of that Aaron Rodgers potion where like he thinks he's like
I almost-
immortal in a way, and he's gonna push it till the end. Like he's gonna push it till he can't possibly do it anymore. So I think there will be an injury that will probably put him out, and he's gonna come back from that injury and just like can't get, won't win a major for a year, and then he's like gonna hang it up. I think that's what's gonna happen. But I think he's gonna win a bunch more. I mean, I didn't think he was going to, but like with Rafa, hanging it up, like Alcaraz.
like you're
with
not
Kevin
picking against
Kilo.
Novak in Australia. You're just not doing it. Like the dude's unbeatable down there.
Yeah,
You'd be a ballsy man to pick against him at Wimbledon.
I don't know. Sinner's been like, if Sinner can carry it over, which I don't. Sometimes I feel like there's a mental block when you switch seasons. But if Sinner can carry over what he's been doing, I think he's got a shot.
He's got a shot. Like him, Alcaraz, Medvedev are the guys that I give realistic chances of beating him. But like, I'm still not going to pick them in a 3 out of 5 against Novak in Australia. He's won it 10 times, like,
Yeah.
and 6 in a row, something like that. Oh wait, he didn't play a couple of years ago because of COVID, so you can't count that. But like,
True.
Yeah, three out of 5 changes it too, because Sinner, I mean, in the last couple of matches, we've seen Sinner just like blow by some forehands past him, and like in a 3 out of 5, much less of a risk of him just like blowing by him in a few big points, like totally changed the game.
Yeah.
and it's different, it's different. It's just a different mentality, right? 2 out of 3, it's not a sprint, but like it kind of is, like, because you lose one set, suddenly like, oops. But like 3 out of 5, like you win 2 and you're like, God, I gotta win another one. And like it's,
I mean, I'm good with the pro tennis talk. I'm kind of curious, Sibo, what do you think? So for predictions for this upcoming season for tennis, I mean, we're kind of nearing when tennis season starts, right? Doesn't it start in January?
for college, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It starts in January. We're getting
So
close.
if you're picking your preseason champion, who you picking? Do you got any insight, any inside knowledge?
I think the team to beat is Virginia again. They get everybody except, I think they get everybody except Barbots are back. Like Rodesh is back, Von der Schulenberg's back, Montez is back, Kiefer's back. Like that's their top 5 right there. And then they got transferred James Hopper. That kid can play from Case Western. He can play. He's a serious player. They got Graziani. He played 1 at Penn. Like he can play too. Like,
Ooh, yeah.
I think they're the team to beat still.
I interviewed with Matt. We interviewed Dave Getz, and he talked about Graziani.
Yeah, he's good. He's feisty too. Like he's.
Where do you think
competitor.
Michigan's gonna like? Do you think they're gonna be top 5 school?
No.
No.
All respect, but they lost their top 3. Like they lost NCAA finalist Styler.
Yep.
They lost Fenty, super solid, could play 1, 2, or 3, All-American. They lost Patrick Maloney. Again, like the heart and soul of that team, probably. Like all 3 gone. And then Steinberg left. So they have a new coach and 2 recruits who they had decommitted and went elsewhere.
Who?
Czech kid who was like number 1 ITF in Europe, like really good player, went to North Carolina instead now. And DC kid, Cyrus something, he went to Georgia instead.
Is that one Minnesota guy on Michigan?
Bjorn.
Yeah.
Yep, he's still there. Gavin's still there. Like they still have,
Who plays
they
one?
have like the bottom half of their lineup from a year ago is now going to play top half, which, it's still a good team, but I don't think they're going to be top 5. I think Ohio State is still easily the team to beat in the Big Ten. Illinois is getting better and better.
With Hunter
they still have
Heck.
Hunter Heck. They have a Zolins now. Like those two have another year to be better.
Where does Hunter fit into their lineup? Is he the top? Is he in the top 3?
Yeah. I think Hunter has the ability to play 1. I don't think Dancer will put him there, but Hunter can play 1. Like he has played 1 before, and he has some really solid wins. And like you put that guy at 2 or 3, like they're good. They're good. But for me, Ohio State's still the team to beat in the Big Ten. I'll take, barring injury or something crazy that I haven't seen yet, I'll take Virginia to win it all again, though. I think they get everybody back and they add 2 transfers, and I'm sure they have some freshmen that can ball. Like it's hard to pick against them at the moment.
Yeah, I like their predictions.
I love you
what do you-
mentioned James
do you-
Hopper, D3
Yeah,
crowd,
he's
baby.
good. Have you ever seen him play?
Yeah, I watched him at ITAs.
Yeah, he's good.
Unreal.
Good player. Very, very good doubles player as well. Him and Montez just like semied the All-American tournament in Tulsa. Like they're freaking good. Like I don't know who you can say Ohio State again, but like they haven't won one because it's usually outdoors. They're more of an indoor team, and something about the NCAA is like Ty Tucker just can't get over that hump. Like wins the Big Ten every year, but just can't win the NCAAs. Like Michigan's going to be down. Who am I forgetting that was up there last year? Like Tennessee's always going to be good. Your usual suspects are going to be good, but like I tell you, team to watch, by the way, Michigan State. Michigan State, they're good. They got Barris, obviously. They got LSU transfer Ronnie Homan. Kid's good. They have this Greek kid. I'm going to mispronounce his name, so I do apologize. Like Aristoteles Thanos. His last name is Thanos.
That's
No
fucking
way.
awesome.
That kid can ball. They got a transfer from it's like South Alabama or something. Sebastian Collard. It's like a 12-9 UTR, and he'll play like 4. Then you have like Max Sheldon still there. He'll play like 5 now after playing 1 and 2 for them. Like they're gonna be sneaky good. They're gonna be sneaky good. They can cause a few ripples.
Well, and so that's correct me if I'm wrong, Sibo, but a number of years ago, Michigan State was towards the bottom of the conference, weren't they?
They were the bottom of the conference, yes.
Yes.
So unbelievable job done by Coach Harry Jaden to turn that program around. Like he's doing it. He's doing it for them for sure. So
Where the Tronson kid,
Hank, yeah.
Yeah, he's at Oklahoma, right?
Yes, he is.
How
Yes, he is.
do you think they're going to be good?
They're young. They're young. I think they have 4 freshmen this year, and I haven't seen Hank play in a while, to be honest. But they're usually top 30. I haven't looked at their roster too closely, but they're always, pretty good, and they're well coached. Like they're kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? They're a little nasty to play. Like it just like they're loud, they're energetic, they'll get in your face. Like
The UND team 2 years ago.
Yeah.
some of those videos of like the double set against, was it Illinois State? Just the craziest double set I think I've ever seen that was posted on the YouTube channel. That might be the craziest double set I think I've ever watched. Like you just up and down and so many things. Like they'll be pretty good, and I don't know.
Here's my expert Division I tennis. What to watch for? Federico Fiorda, grad transfer, University of North Dakota.
Wait, really?
No shit, dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, he's playing at UND, and Gustavus is a serve and volley program. Like playing at the net, doesn't really fit Fetty's Argentinian style. But get him at the baseline.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see that guy up in Grand Forks get a hard-fought win, go to the Italian Moon.
Joe Black.
Joe Blacks. What else do they have in Grand Forks? That's about it. But
Is he gonna crack that lineup?
I don't know. So I got to confirm. That's what Jeffrey has told me, and I had the Gustavus guys over this weekend, and like they were all saying, yeah, he's gonna play. Like he's not on like I don't think they've updated the roster online yet. I got to reach out to the kid again, but I mean, I don't know that. I mean, I know J-Ho, Petro's brother,
Cristo, yeah.
yeah. They've got a kid from England, I know. But God, I got to get back into it, like, just in general. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he'll like play. Like, certainly, like, he's gotten better, I guess. But like, he trains with. I'm pretty sure he's been training with Wyatt's group down here.
Oh. Okay. All right.
So
Do we have a scouting report on Gustavus's outlooks for this year?
yeah, so the Golden Gusties look good. I'll pull up my stats right now.
I saw on Instagram, everyone on that team was sharing the rankings left and right. Looks like they're just dominating the rankings.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see Gage Gold this year. He, was a double.
Even I have heard all the buzz surrounding Gage goal all the way out here on the East Coast. Word spreads.
The us North Dakota boys, we got to support our South Dakota brethren. Gage was a doubles guy last year, great season. But yeah, won the Midwest Regional at the ITA, and heck of a performance. I mean, he's going to be outstanding. Marco Seviero, very good. Tyler Hadorf, very good. I'm very curious to see though, like what their top 6 will look like, because in the past, like, and I guess you could say with like, with Nick and Neil and even Marco at the end, and I mean, I know Josh Christensen too. There's another guy. Like they were close, but we're getting away from the Gustavus days of where you had like a Mahanad, and then there was, I mean, Pat Whaling was very, very, very good, but there was a gap, it seemed like. And so, I mean, I'm a firm believer, like when you've got a guy at 6 who can compete and beat a guy at 1, like that's really good for a team.
Mm-hmm.
Mayak will be a bit blue collar this year, though. Carleton's top 2 guys, I believe, transferred out west to, I want to say, Pomona.
Okay.
McAllister, don't know much. Bethel, I can't say stinks because you never know who's going to watch. But St. John's, I don't know who they're going to have. Like the Cobbers, though, their top 3 guys, they'll win some matches.
Yeah. Cobbers will be decent.
Yeah.
So it's Gustavus's to lose is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I think
as always.
Yeah, they won't have their team on paper won't be as good as the last couple of years, but also like they perform really well at ITAs, so who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe some youthful energy might be, a welcome change from the veteran rearguard leadership and experience.
I'll tell you this. Did you ever know Rob?
Yes.
Yeah, I had Rob over at the place this weekend. He's excited about the team.
Love his vlogs. Go check him out, viewers.
Oh yes,
He has
yes.
a YouTube channel, does his vlogs. Go check him out.
Is this the guy that makes YouTube videos with his cat or something? Who's that? There was some Gustavus player. Or no, fuck. I'm thinking Andy Godin.
Oh, that was Andy Godin, North Dakota tennis legend.
Yeah, never mind. Subject change. Keep going, Dave.
But yeah, no, I mean it's Gustavus, great liberal arts school. I probably have a little bit too much of a bonner for them, considering that they were a competitor. But you love to see like Nick Aney is at the #1 dental school in the country. You've got Neil, who's doing good stuff out in the world. Joe Panus holding the fort down at Bloomington Lifetime South.
Yes.
Gussie's Will Shine